Welcome, 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 my warrior sisters and brothers. This is David Ackrish from beautiful Albuquerque, New Mexico, and this is my third video that is going to be entitled, let me read it, let's see here. After 45 years, my past, present, and future views on the Mook Jong. That's my custom Mook Jong right there. I want to thank everyone who's been clicking on my videos. That I just started this channel, and there's only two there, but the second one is talking about my 57 years of continuous training, teaching, and studying of close quarter. I'm calling it close quarter combat because that's how I viewed it and funneled my ideas and what I've extracted from different systems and styles. And I've actually been involved in 40. I stopped counting at 40 different styles, and I'm like a researcher, I guess you could say, because some of them were for a few days, some of them for 45 years, and just going off the deep end. It's part of who I am, and it's part of what I do. It's part of what I'm going to do. It's part, and again, I want to thank my wife, who encouraged me to start this channel and just pour it out, and that's what I'm doing. And been some couple nice comments, and I encourage any comments, anything you want to say, bring it on. It's okay. I'm a big boy, and I just actually, I'm really surprised, and I'm really happy about where things are going. So, and I've just started. So it's just the beginning. Anyways, I am the founder of my own conclusions, you could say. So we'll call it a school, which is Black Dragon Modern Combat. This is my tagline, where tradition becomes evolution with modernized strategies and tactics for civilian close quarter combat and rapid conflict resolution. So it's a mouthful, but it's what it is. And so it's a really good description of how I feel. I try to put it into one sentence. And so again, this is after 45 years. This video is kind of a predecessor to what I alluded to about teaching 20 key principles of the Mook Jong. And those 20 key principles are going to apply to anybody and everyone, especially beginners, or someone saying, do I want to do this, or what's it all about? Or maybe you've been doing it for a really long time, but some of the principles you've thought about or you've done, but you're not doing anymore. And you know what? I was going to list them, and I forgot to bring it out here with me. So I'll list them at the beginning, all the 20 key principles at the beginning of the first lesson. I can tell you the first lesson is about the hands, and what part of the hand this is all my own ideas. This is just after all these years. I know I'm going to keep saying that because I'm not trying to claim it's somebody else showing me. I mean, people have shown me a lot, but it's my conclusions, how I do things and how I apply it. And so it may overlap with traditional or not classical, or just in the end, I want to take away those labels and ideas, and this is just me. And after a lot of years of doing something like painting or creating something or playing the piano, how I approach what I'm doing and what I will do to the very end, the last breath. And so this is my custom-made Mook Jong right here that's been around for 30 years. Pretty close. I'll say 30, it's maybe a little less, but it's been around the block with me. So, and I will be putting together the brand new Mook Jong from eBay, which is just crazy to me, is here, and it's in a box. And so we'll be putting that together, my wife and I, my wife Tia. So, by the way, she's been a practitioner and really studying under me for as long as we've been together, which is close to 25 years. So she's a big part of what we do. I bounce ideas off of her. She's come up with a lot of ideas here, and it's just been extremely just complimenting what I'm doing and encouraging. So I wouldn't be here doing these videos if it wasn't for her. So if you like what's happening, and I am actually unleashing the dragon and the tiger. I went crazy last night working out, and I'm going to do, and I didn't even know I was going to do all this, but I'm going to apply different style, all the things that I've done, and just pull it out. And like last night, I was working on leopard paw and tiger, and kind of my idea again is the modernized idea of blending it into the science and concepts of, and I have to say Wing Chun is that even though you can extract it out of other systems and ideas, but it's actually it's where it's been explained to me more than any other type of system, is giving you a core idea and a core system, or concepts of geometry and center line and explosion. I mean, it's just, that's why it's so popular. That's why it's incredible. And I think a lot of people are blending it in maybe with something else they're doing, or they're blending in the Mook Jong with what they're doing. And I gotta say, I've been not really looking at YouTube videos because I just been busy for 25 years longer, and I'm starting to look and going, wow, there's people wearing a gi with a black belt, but they're working on Mook Jong, and I'm like, that's cool. This is like a whole new thing to me. Actually, I felt like maybe the whole combat, but then again, part of me knew it wasn't, but it was dying. Oh, it's over. Bruce Lee, the thing is kind of gone. It's like in a wave or a phase, and no, I'm like kind of blown away. There's people who even take like 3 lessons and they're trying to tell you how to do something. I see some terrible stuff on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie, I'm an honest person, and I've seen some really great stuff. I saw one of the worst teachings I've ever seen the other day. I'm like, why are you? It's not, I don't know, you can do whatever you want, it's a free world. And then I saw a great teacher and showing out a chi sao and explosion and moving, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And I can tell, well, at least I don't know, but it just seems like one person is just faking it. I'm really against it, because don't go showing people something when you haven't put your time in. I don't know, is that just kind of common sense? But this other person, I won't use names here till I have permission. I will never do that. It's ridiculous. And I want to promote someone, but I won't do it until I ask them. And this guy, I don't even know where he's out of. It might have been England, I don't know. But was superior and very traditional, I would say, but explosive and opening and great explaining and actually applying, being able to do it, to being able to move. And that's, most people should be able to see, like, somebody's like, nah. Actually, the first guy that was horrible, someone gave one comment and he said, give it up. And I thought it was just funny. It's mean-ish, but it's honest-ish. And so I thought the same thing, but I won't write it, but I thought it. I'm like, this is, it didn't make any sense to me. Anyways, so I've been trying to cut these videos down, but I have a lot to say, so bear with me. This may even be, I was going to try to, my wife just says it's going to be 10 minutes. I go, yeah, sure. Wow, yeah, it's already been 10 minutes. So what I want to talk about is a little bit of my past with just my relationship. I was, coming up with weird words earlier, like intimate, and relationship with the Mook Jong, and connection, maybe that's a good word. And so that would be a little bit about the past with myself, might be interesting. And then I'm going to talk about kind of the present, where things are at, which a lot of people might already know, but I'm still going to talk about it. And then the future, and even talk about why the Mook Jong is wood. And my wife and I practice Chinese herbal medicine for a very long time. And so we look at things in elemental ways. And so I may tell you something about wood or about the Mook Jong that you probably don't know, and that's going to be at the very end. So let me get started. Yes, I'm actually going to get started. So the past, and I have my notes here, and I think what I'm going to do is actually just take all this and put that up as, because I think you can put a lot onto the YouTube, and I'll put all my notes here that are pretty well written out, and if you want to look at it, you can look at it that way. So, but my first introduction, so I started martial arts when I was 6 years old. And, that just went bye-bye, so I gotta find it. I don't know why. I'm sorry. it's weird. It closed on me, which it should not have. So there it goes. It's being funny. I am so sorry. I'm not going to restart this. So there it is. My apologies. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can. Okay. So from ages 6 to 17, 18, getting out of high school, it was Taekwondo and karate. A lot of people did it. Okay, so I did a lot of different styles of karate, maybe 3 different Taekwondo schools. One of them was with, I don't know if I said this in the past, with a man named Roger Tung, who ended up being he's Korean, but he taught Kung Fu and he taught Taekwondo down at a place called Boat Street, which is right below the University of Washington. Beautiful, absolutely on the water, actually, just a beautiful area. And so he taught Northern Mahjong Kung Fu, so you could take one or the other. And it was Northern, of course, because that was kicking, because he was just a kicker, the guy. And he ended up becoming the Wushu or Wusu coach for Beijing, China. And interesting, it wasn't a Chinese person, it's Korean. And I just thought that was amazing, and it made sense because, and I was so young when I started with, that's where I wanted to go. I don't even know why or how, but I ended up there. He actually taught Tai Chi too, which I was like, what is that? I'm watching these people on the little hillside across the street doing their Tai Chi forms, and I just thought, what? And so, but so I always did the kicking and had bags at home and all that. And then I met someone who I didn't really know, and I alluded to him earlier. He's like almost my favorite. I have a couple Sifus that just introduced me to a couple of things. But the first thing he did, well, I just went over to meet him sort of, and he wanted to talk to me. He goes, "Oh, you're into martial arts, come over." I'm like, "Oh, whatever." He lived up the street, and he's I think a year or two older. But we went in his garage, and I see this wood block. And now I can see people are making them. I don't know if they ripped him off some, but this wood block hanging, and then these 3 poles coming out of it, and they were made out of. It was homemade, and I'm surprised he could even do it. He didn't seem like he was that. Anyways, but it was a baseball bats, and it was the wide end was inside, so then the tapered end came down, and he cut off the little knob at the end, and I was like, "What's that?" He goes, "Well, it's something I want to show you." And then he went over and started blasting it. I'm like, so what I wrote here is I witnessed it, and my mind was blown away. One, he's hitting wood, he's hitting something. I'm like, oh, you're gonna break your arms, and then 2, he was doing these entries that were Kung Fu. I've never really seen it before. And maybe in movies, or I knew about it, but I didn't really see it up close. And then this was Wing Chun, which was like something you really didn't see way back then. And so that was my first introduction, and I was like, I have to have one of those. That training it resonated, and it scared me, and I knew it was something real. And so and the other thing I was going to, just a little bit about my past, is when I was 13, I think 12 or 13, there's a place called Capitol Hill, Seattle, and it's up from the waterfront in downtown, and Pike or Pine or something. And we were driving by. I wasn't driving, but my parents are driving. I'm in the back seat, looking at everything, and I saw this little sign on a door, and it said Kung Fu, and I went, what? And there was a number, and I don't know how I got the number. Maybe my parents stopped, let me get out and look. I don't know. It was a long time ago. And so I called that number, and this guy, what I write here, it was basically it was an underground school. And instead of like nowadays, you're trying to get people into your school and make money, and he scared the living fear of God out of me and into me, and would not allow me to come into the school, and quizzed me and scared. I mean, he was mean. And I was like, wow. I thought, oh, you could just go, no. And so that was just part of it. And I can hear in the background, the reason I bring it up, well, because it was an underground school, which has made it really interesting. I don't even know what it was or anything, but I can hear the clunking in the background. I'm like, oh, what is that? What's that sound? You can just wow, wow, wow. And then the next time I heard that was with Sifu. I'll say Sifu M. And so then he actually, even though he showed me so much and taught me and throughout the few years, more than ever, than almost anybody, than maybe one other person, he introduced me to he goes, you need to go to school. You're going to fall in love with this. This is for you. I'm like, huh? And I go, okay, whatever. I trust you. So we went downtown and he brought me to a Choy Li Fut school. And I just stood at the door and I went, that's me. Oh my God, they're doing the real stuff. This to me was what that other school wouldn't let me in to do. And the weapons, it was part of actually underground Seattle. And because you go down these stairs and it was off of First Avenue in Yesler. So authentic and just scary. And I'm scary in a great way, and like scary that you actually see something that in your visceral feeling is that's real. And so I started that when I was 18. But the reason I bring that up is, they had a Mook Jong, and it was kind of open territory. There wasn't really lessons on it because it was a massive form school. Katas or forms. Learned so many forms there, but anyone could go over and strike the Mook Jong. So that was kind of my second introduction to it, and I was obsessed with the Mook Jong. I was like, this is because of the first, I could say, connection with it or witnessing of it. I'm like, this has to happen. This has to be a part of my life. And so I felt like I was the only one. What I write here, it seems to me I was the only one ever training on it since there was no lineup for it. So, because it hurts, and that's something I'm talking about later. It's it looks cool and it's in the movies, but there's a lot of pain involved with it. So it's been much better here. The weather's just absolutely beautiful here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, our new home. We've been here for about a year, but there's little flies flying around, so I'm sorry if I keep touching it. It's not some weird thing I have. So when the school shut down, and I had there was one right there. Oh, that's weird. I was like, I have to have a Mook Jong, and there was other schools that I went to, but they didn't have them, and I was traveling around. I was taking Wing Chun and all this other stuff, but I wanted my own Mook Jong, and so. But this guy's trying to come after me. So I had this one made. And I had it made by an expert woodworker. And I just told her what I wanted in words. I think I might have wrote down in a little scratch, something. But she came up with this. And actually it had a top where I could have a speed bag on the other side. And then I was able to actually have the other type of bag, the double-ended, because I wanted both things, but I don't have that top anymore. This has been through so much. I've had other bags on it. I've had pieces of rubber, like a rubber mat you have on the ground for just standing on when you're doing a lot of work, and I cut that up and I glued that on. I've taken that off. I had the heavy-duty sandbags that have Bruce Lee's face on it, and that came off. And then I was like, I just didn't like that stuff. And this one has, you can see where the metal, well, maybe you can't see it, but and that's where I had it attached. But I took everything off. I said, no, I don't want it. And by the way, she hand did that tiger. I don't know if you can see it, but that was really cool. And she just did it. She says, let's make it look cool. And so, but you can buy these on Amazon. And I just thought, wow, and they fit perfectly. But this one's square, so it fits a different need and a big need of how I do things. And so I'm really happy with it. Been around forever. So that's kind of the past. Let me see if I'll do this way. So the present, I'm trying to go through this really fast. I believe that the Mook Jong is and will continue to be a training apparatus well beyond Wing Chun or Choy Li Fut or these other schools, as I'm seeing on YouTube, which I already mentioned. It's become exceedingly popular with and it just happens, right? With the movies, when Bruce Lee came out, everybody wanted to do Wing Chun or Jeet Kune Do, or I mean, it really brought Kung Fu out, and I mean that was the whole thing about him, and the whole history. But now I think these movies, which is funny, is like a resurrection of especially the Mook Jong and Wing Chun, and there's all these debates about it and stuff, but it's the exposure's been amazing, and I'm glad, because I truly believe in the training with the Mook Jong. I have a saying that is either you do or you don't, and so there's no in between. So and I truly believe in that. But and then I'm amazed that you can just buy a Mook Jong add it to the cart. That's crazy. And so for me, it was like from underground to full exposure, and it's an interesting world. And even though it's available to all, it's a very advanced training apparatus. And unfortunately, too many novices are offering lessons or advice on something they know very little about. And so, well, my next point is, please be careful if you're starting out, or even not starting out, when training on an authentic Mook Jong. You do require a proper Sifu or someone and guidance for a positive outcome. So you don't want to hurt yourself, you don't want to break a bone, you don't want to hit it incorrectly. There's a lot of things right and wrong, just like with anything. If you want to learn guitar, you want to have a great teacher who starts you out correctly and develop the proper skills and understanding. I talk guitar, so I play music, and a lot of people didn't want to do what I wanted them to do, which proper structure of the hands. They just want to play a chord and rock and roll, and learn 3 chords and start a band. And I have a big problem with that. And so my training to them was very classical, like a classical guitarist, and develop your fingers, your hand, proper positioning. And students didn't want that. So they just like, when are we going to play a song? I'm like, all right, you're at the wrong place. I'm at the wrong place. Somebody's at the wrong place. So be very, very careful if you purchase a Mook Jong, or you think about it, or you're getting started, or you want to get started. Maybe I'm going to be able to help you. I do. I'm offering to see if you use my ideas, or even what you're doing, to show me how you're training. And I don't mean any disrespect. If you have a teacher, that's the person who should be showing you, of course. Or, you can do whatever you want. If you want to send me a video that you have to upload it to YouTube and then send me the link, it's pretty easy. If I can do it, you can do it. And I'll look at it. If you think I have any worth, then I'll give you my thoughts on it. I've watched thousands of people hitting the Mook Jong, and I've probably hit it 10 million times. I don't know. Who knows how many times you do something. So for free, or if you want to send me, pay $3 a month or whatever for a donation. I mean, cool. Who doesn't want a little bit of trade? And I had a Chinese doctor who said everything has to be a trade. Even if you give me a nickel, I can't just give you herbs. You have to give me something. There has to be this balancement of the universe. And so I believe in that. But, and so along the same lines, my humble opinion there's ones that you can buy that are very less expensive. They're not really in a Mook Jong. They're kind of a arm apparatus thing. I call them the wobbly ones. And I'm just saying, I don't have them. I don't have one. I was thinking about getting it just to see, but I'm calling it a very weak substitute. But I believe you could use it for form training. And I see people doing it, on there, and it looks cool. And entries and even weapon training. But what I suggest is putting $2 a day. I keep looking at my notes here, trying not to. $2 a day for half a year in a jar, and then buy a real one. And then I'm going to start these numerous lessons. And if maybe that's all you want to do is work through the maybe that's the only thing you want. I mean, I'm going to show other tools or training tools that I use. Like one of them is right here, which is a really heavy duty wrecking ball, and they said there's a soft one and a hard one, so I picked the hard one, and it's hard, it's dense. That thing, you'll break your wrist on it. So I use it for a lot of different ideas, and that's gonna be something I'm gonna go over later. But anyways, let me see where I'm at. I think I can do this. So that's it for the present. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the future, which I've already talked about. I'm going to go over, or going to be offering the 20 key principles of the Mook Jong series for all levels, styles, systems, to encourage really beginners to become comfortable in starting their own journey. And it takes time to develop skill. That's duh. And it just does. This hurry up world is sorry. You can have it in your mind, it's hurry up, but you're going to have to take time. It just takes time. And so I'll take you through all these different, not just really applied to the Mook Jong, but ideas in general that you're using or you're not using. And so it's a prompt. So it's really would be, these 20 principles would be good for actually anything and anybody. You can apply it to different things, but a lot of it will be directly applied to, like the very first one, the 8 parts of the hand that I strike, just the hand, you can say hand and wrist, on striking the Mook Jong. So, which is very, it's very precise. And again, I'm just showing you what I do. I always say that a teacher really is someone who's just leading people in their own workout or what they do. And so that's still my belief. So I'm just showing you what I do. And then, so this is interesting. So why have a Mook Jong? And my wife came up with some of these, and they were really, I liked them, and pretty straightforward. I just wasn't thinking that way. But always a partner, and I added to it. She said that. You always have a partner. And I'm like, oh, it's true. Without an attitude, that was my add-on. No excuses to train. It's there. It's put it somewhere, like put it in the middle of the living room. It's like, I have to hit it. I have to strike it. I have it outside here where every time I take the dogs out, even late at night, I'm striking it. It's there. You just do. When people come around, they always touch my stuff because it's like, there, well, I have to hit it. I have to hit the bag. And I'm like, no, don't touch that. And so why have a Mook Jong? Number 3, ability to develop iron arms, legs, feet, and hands. So it does develop, it's like an internal ironness where the outside of your body is soft, which is really interesting because you can look at someone who's hit the Mook Jong for 30 years, but you don't develop calluses or all that. I don't know, someone said that once, like, what are you talking about? But you develop density or iron bone or flow of chi, flow of blood, flow of the nervous system, and so in fluids. And so it's really interesting. It's its own idea. I was trying to see if I can research where did it begin, but it's its own development. There really nothing else. I'm going to say, not even a heavy bag. It's its own thing, and I think it's really important. And next step, why, is would develop chi, like I was saying, an explosive power and how to move energy, draw energy. It's almost, energy is a circular thing from the earth to the heavens and through you as a conductor. And so we'll talk about that later. I've also studied, I haven't brought this up, years of Tai Chi and Qigong. Like I said, 40. I even did 8. It's called Bakwa, which is walking the circle, 8. I looked at it all. I did it all. I did some for a little while and some for a really, really, really long time. And so, but I explored it and tried to connect these different ideas. And I want to see what's going on. This is good. And so, why have a Mook Jong? Feel the pain of reality, transform, transcend, and move through it. So, what do I mean by that? Even last night, I ticked my finger, and it was painful. But I didn't stop or go, ooh, ow, or pain is a part of combat. Okay, this is about combat, and to give pain, and I'm saying offer immense pain that you could not really do without that, to understand how to get and not keep it within yourself. But pain does happen, and you hit things, you hit your elbow, you strike a little too hard, you hit the ulnus or the radial nerve or whatever it is, and you go, wow, that kind of hurt. But you work through it. So you learn how to, what I'm saying, I think maybe the best word here is, well, both transform and transcend that pain. And that's, so even if you start slow, but you work your way to a higher pain, I don't say threshold, but maybe in the real reality, you can't just punch in the air or even hit a bag. It's just not enough. You have to feel pain, and someone hits you, it's pain. How do you react to it? How do you, again, transform and transcend that pain where you still can stay vital and within the moment? So a lot of people can take pain. Maybe they don't need it. A lot of people cannot. Most people can't. I mean, we have nervous systems, and we have to learn to work with them and how to express energy and receive pain and express it back. It's I'm trying to put something that's hard to put into words. So, and the last part here is develop fine-tuned skill and application, and so that can be done with the Mook Jong. So, lastly, believe it or not, I know you want me to keep going on and on forever, but why wood? So why, we were laughing, T and I, why not stone? Well, I don't know. I mean, I saw a guy who was hitting stone. I think he was Wing Chun guy. He's pretty cool. And he's doing this, slapping a stone. I'm like, good. But it doesn't really make sense, I think. Maybe just for mobility. Maybe a stone, maybe that's the new thing. I don't know. Why not metal? But I'll tell you about wood. One thing, there's an abundance of it. And then 2, it's easy to create something out of wood. 3, okay, so this gets a little deeper, the Chinese medicine, Chinese philosophies and methodologies. It's a growth energy. I mean, this is dead wood, and some people say, well, the feng shui of this is dead, but it's not really, because everything is alive. Everything is a molecule moving. So it just is. This will eventually someday break down. And so there is an energy to different things, and wood has its own energy. It is upward. It's like a tree or foliage. It is an upward. I mean, things do go down, roots go down, but it's the roots to go down, so the energy still is an upward energy to the heavens. And so wood is an upward energy. One of the problems, this is just an offshoot of Chinese medicine for a lot of people, is too much energy or non-regulated liver energy, and so you're going to have problems in your head. Maybe a migraine is a really good example of that. So that's a Chinese medicine idea, but it's a human idea that's brilliantly understood through Chinese medicine. And so another reason for wood is absorption and reactivity energy, of it to be able to absorb what you're sending, and also it gives back, which I call, like, one of the 20 principles is going to be, an off name of it is what I call bouncing. And so there's an energy that this teaches, and the wood, I think, is a perfect medium to bring for that to happen. And then, as I said, the wood is actually related to what we call the liver organ system, and it's been named the general. So the different organ systems have, and they're actually a name. And the general, okay, so general, like military. So I thought that was interesting. I started thinking about this. And then it is, your liver is the house of your soul. So soul is, soul power. I mean, it's something that really can be broken down or suppressed, or when your soul is flying, it's moving and flying outwards. And it really is, to me, a part of combat. And so I thought that was interesting. When I started thinking about this is like a new thing. I just didn't put the time into this because I just haven't. And in Chinese medicine, which is directly connected to the liver, the soul, the hun, is that is connected to anger, motivation, aggression, activity, flow, clearing, your sight. Your sight is powerful when in combat, seeing things, building your eye, what we call eye kung. And so this is the end of the video. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you have any comments, let me know. Let me know if you like this. I've had some actual subscribers, and that's super cool. This is new to me. This was something I wasn't really going to do, like I said, and now I'm just pouring it out. So I'm actually, every day I think, well, I'm going to have to do another video and get things out there. And I'm going to keep it going. So I'm going to sign out and say thank you if you made it to the end of this. This is kind of the predecessor to was going to be a series, and I keep saying that because it's going to happen. And then I'll go deep into other ideas, and I've been writing them down, and the list it's crazy. So this is kind of my new thing, and it's just begun. It's my kind of my new journey, I guess. So, or the journey never stopped. So, any way you want to look at it. Anyways, have a wonderful day, and take care. And let me know if you have any questions. You know how to get a hold of me. And there you go. So subscribe and all that. Anyways, take care. Bye-bye.